Well, hello everyone. Thought I'd come outside and just do a quick video in response to our phase 2 situation, and thought I'd come outside because it would just be an easier setting. However, I'm going to be squinting if I'm looking at a good background, which is my the front of my house. I'm going to be squinting, and if I turn it around so that you're looking at my old shed, I just don't want to do that. So a couple of things. We are in that phase 2, and so what that means is this. It means that we can have less than 50. It says 25% of our capacity, or 50, whichever is the less number. So I think we're safe in the auditorium having 50. Remember that though that's 50 in the auditorium, we could have more people that are out in the fellowship hall. We could have obviously more people in the tabernacle area, and then a handful of people would actually fit into the foyer area as well, where we've got those couches. And so we've got some options. Of course, I'm going to be gone these next 2 Sundays. But we do have some options, and so I want to encourage you, come on out to church. If you feel like, that if you have some specific health problems, some vulnerabilities, you do want to be cautious with this, and perhaps, you don't just come to every single solitary service. One of the things that I'm going to ask is that you take some personal accountability on this thing. Number one, check your temperature. Make sure your temperature, you and your whole family are feeling well. If there's any kind of symptoms or anything like that, please, just don't come. If you have any kind of symptoms that are of a concern like that, please just don't come. You don't need to put anyone else at risk or the church as a whole at risk, please. So do that for me. Number two is, when you're at the church, if you just kind of keep an eye on who's there, and if the numbers are approaching that 50 or more, remember we do have some other options. And if you've been in a service, so the way this thing is that we can have up to 50 in a room as many times a day as we want, is the way this thing is set up. And so if you've been in the auditorium for one of the services on Sunday already, and now you look and you can see that the numbers are starting to creep above 50, there's more people going to be there. If you would just, take be giving in this thing. You've already been in there one service, so why don't you go into the fellowship hall, or why don't you set up a chair out in the tabernacle area, or in the foyer, something like that, so that everyone gets an opportunity that wants to be in church. It gets an opportunity to be in the service, in the auditorium during the preaching service, and that would just be very helpful if we'd be thoughtful of one another. If you want to be in church, but you are in a little bit more of a vulnerable category, you're over 65, or you have some underlying health issues, then just be sure to practice the safe distancing and those things. I will print out tonight the Washington State's Phase 2 guidelines, and they are, in my mind, guidelines, and some of them, they're just their guidelines. Let me also say this. So I think as we get into the summer and this phase 2 and all that, I think that we're going to get a feeling like this thing is over. And I kind of want to feel that way too. But let me just share with you, I'm not going to give the name, but just today I was asked to pray for a pastor. This pastor is, I'm guessing, in his 40s, so he's younger than I am, quite a bit younger than I am, but he also isn't as healthy as I am. I think of myself as being more fit these days, and he's not fit, and I know that for a fact. But here's the thing: he was just tested. His wife, his assistant pastor, and his assistant pastor's entire family have been tested positive for COVID. They're not in the state of Washington, by the way. But again, what I want to remind you is that whether you think this thing is serious or not, that's Whether you think it's a flu or something worse than the flu, I think everyone's got a different opinion on that. But we're not over it. Is what I do know. The country is not over this thing, and so take it serious, would you please? Take it seriously. And if you don't feel like you're worried about it enough, that you don't care if you get the Chinese coronavirus, I'm fine with that. Frankly, I don't think I care if I get it either, but I do care about other people, and I don't want to be the cause of someone else getting it. So if you'll just think that way, it would really be helpful to me. All right, and so some of you I'll see tonight as we have the graduation service for Tabby, and the others let you know that I'll be praying for you. God bless.